Hello everybody, this is Byrnage, and I'm going to show you some tips for doing Spellslinger rotation and like which abilities to grab for leveling. And I know that you're going to have different amounts of slots depending on what level you are, so I'm going to go in order from most important to least important. I'm going to start with the damage abilities. You probably don't want any more than 5 damage abilities ever, or you're either going to rape your focus, or you're just not going to provide enough support for a dungeon group. But for leveling, you can go ahead and do whatever you want. So the most important damage ability I would actually say is Quick Draw. Quick Draw is your just regular damage ability. You can spam it, and it has no cooldown. You're going to need an ability without a cooldown so you can be doing things at all times. You never want to have Spell Surge up while you're using Quick Draw, because that will blow through your focus really quickly. You only get to use it like 4 times and all your focus will be gone. The next and most important damaging ability is Rapid Fire. You always want to have Spell Surge active while you use Rapid Fire, and it will only use one charge for all 4 shots. Rapid Fire does the most damage out of any other ability you have, and it'll be one of your main sources of damage. The next best ability for DPS is True Shot. True Shot is kind of like Rapid Fire. It'll have 3 charges, and all 3 charges will only use 1 focus. So you can easily keep your focus up to keep your Spell Surge up, which increases your damage on all your abilities by a certain amount. Except for True Shot, that just decreases the cast time, but it's still really good to have Spell Surged. And the next best ability is Flame Burst. You actually have to crit to use Flame Burst, so when you're using your abilities, you just want to look out for a crit, and as soon as you get a crit, you want to use Flame Burst. You want to stop whatever you're doing and use Flame Burst and get that on cooldown, and that way it'll be up again as soon as possible, because Flame Burst doesn't use any focus, it doesn't have a Spell Surge bonus or anything, but it's just free damage that you can get in there all the time. And then the last, least important skill is Wild Barrage. You could really replace this with anything you like. It's just sits there and it keeps shooting for does damage every 0.25 seconds for 2.5 seconds. And it does kind of a lot of damage, it adds up, and you always want to Spell Surge that as well. So that's all the damage abilities, and that's the order I would take them in. So if you have very few damage abilities, or very few slots, I'd only take like Quick Draw, Rapid Fire, and True Shot. Those are like the main damage abilities that you really want to have. Then other than that, there's support abilities and utility abilities. This is a heal. It heals for a pretty good amount. I can't really show you that because I'm not taking damage. And it heals instantly, so I usually use it. It's really nice for questing. It can heal me Spell Surged like 3,500 over 2 seconds, which is like a third of my health. So it's a pretty quick, easy heal that can keep you from dying, and it's pretty nice. And then Gate is very important. I would have this no matter what in every build you have, because it's a stun, and in dungeons, if you don't do dungeons, I guess you don't need it, but you can also use it to like gain speed and like run around, get away from battles faster, run away, or get into battles faster. But it provides a stun, and the stuns that are incredibly important in this game for dungeons, which you will need to coordinate stuns in dungeons to like stun bosses so they don't kill you, because there are some bosses that will murder the hell out of you if you do not stun them. Like, it will be a wipe every time, so everybody will need to have a stun, and Gate is really good. Yeah. Anyways, so other than that, I'm going to go through exactly how this works. You cannot Spell Surge Quick Draw, but you want to be Spell Surging these 3 abilities, or whatever you've got. You only want to be Spell Surging them. So you need to get into the habit of toggling Spell Surge on and off, which is it takes a little bit of getting used to. So we're basically going to open up Rapid Fire, then True Shot. And you want to be using that as soon as it's up, and then as soon as that's up, you want to toggle that off, and then just spam Quick Draw until your next ability is up, which has already been up, but I'm explaining things. So, and use that as often as possible, and then you toggle it back on and start Rapid Fire. And then if you have nothing else to use, you toggle it off, toggle it back on, go for the next ability, that's up, you use that. And you just want to keep this, and notice my focus is still like really high, I'm never running out of focus. This allows me to continue to Spell Surge all of these abilities for maximum damage. And I don't claim this to be like the absolute best rotation, it's something I came up for myself, and I'm usually top damage in every dungeon. I'm like rarely second. It happens from time to time though, so I must be doing something right. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment and I can help you out. Because a lot of people like Charge Shot. I don't really like Charge Shot because you can't move and you're just standing there charging it, and I don't know, I guess it's only like 1 something seconds when Spell Surged. Where is that? Yeah, 1.4 seconds while Spell Surged, but which is also a really good ability. If you want to use that instead of like Wild Barrage, it's also really good, but I don't like it. At tier 8 I think you can start moving, which is at tier 4, so I could actually be using it right now while moving, but I just don't like it. And so that's the extent of my guide. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask. Thanks for watching, hope you liked the video, and I'll see you next time.